Hello everyone, this is Sunil from thinkbigprg.com. In the previous tutorial, we performed different database operation using different flavors of statement interface. In this tutorial, we will be exploring result set interface in depth. So result set object is an object that holds the data that is retrieved from database. Whenever you perform select star on any tables of a database, the data is retrieved from the table and it needs to be populated somewhere, right? So result set is an object that will be holding the data. Okay, so result set is an object that can be created using statement interface, prepared statement, callable statement, or from a row set. Okay, so whenever you are accessing the data in a result set, you'll be using cursor. When we talk about cursor, it's not the cursor that is pointing to the database. It's a cursor that points to a row of a result set. Okay, you have to note this point about the cursor. So with these things covered, we will look at different result set types. Okay, so I'll give you a scenario, and this scenario will give a better understanding of each of these result set types. Suppose say that you have retrieved record from database and the data is there in a result set. You are allowed to traverse the data in only one direction, in only forward direction. Then you will say the result set type is type underscore forward underscore only. Suppose say you are allowed to move in forward direction as well as backward direction, you will say the result set type is type underscore scroll underscore insensitive. Suppose say that you are allowed to move in forward as well as backward direction. Along with that, you are like allowed to modify a record so that whatever record that you modified in a result set is reflected back to the database. Then you will say the result set type is type underscore scroll underscore sensitive. The default behavior that is set is type underscore forward underscore only. And whenever you are using type underscore scroll underscore sensitive, you will be combining that with another result set concurrency type. Okay, so you have to set the concurrency as concur underscore updatable so that whatever changes that you made to the result set will be reflected to the database. Okay, so the default implementation will be concur underscore read only, where you won't be able to update the data using result set. Okay, so now let's look at methods to modify the cursor position. We already looked at next, right? So previous will just do opposite of what we saw. Okay, when you call result set dot first, it's going to move the cursor to the first position. When you say last, it's going to move to the last position. When you say relative, you can move the cursor based on relative position. When you say absolute, it will be moving cursor with respect to 0th row. Okay, when you say before first, it's going to point to a location that is above first row. When you say after last, it's going to point you to a location after the last row. Okay, so with these theories covered, we will write a program that will update a record, and it will be of result set type underscore scroll underscore sensitive, and it will have result set concurrency set to concur underscore updatable. Using result set interface concept that we learned earlier, we will write a code that will perform update operation using result set. Okay, so to do that, I'll copy the code that we wrote earlier for display. Okay, I'll rename the comments. Okay, and I'll rename the method. Okay, we don't need ID, remove this. Okay, we'll rename the CISO as well. Remember, we need to set the result set type as well as we need to set the uh, update property as concur underscore update, right? So we will do that when we are creating a statement. Okay, so I'll say result set dot, no, not this result set. I will, okay, dot type underscore scroll underscore sensitive, and I'll also say result set dot concur underscore updatable. Okay, and we don't need id over here. Okay, and this is the code that we have written. Okay, we need this. Okay, if the name that we retrieved from database, okay, if it's Scott, what we will do, we'll update Scott and set it to some other name. Okay, get string not Scott, this is 2 equals Scott is COTT. Then we will set the name as update the name as new Scott, and I will update the result set. Okay, I have updated the result set as well. Okay, so you need to make a keynote whenever you're performing update on a result set using a result set. You need to make sure the table that you have created earlier has primary key. So whatever we created here does not have any primary key. Okay, so in that case it will give you an error. Okay, to demonstrate that, I'll execute this query. Yeah, see, oh, let me comment out everything because we forgot to call that altogether. Okay, so I'll say test dot update result set, the method that we wrote earlier. I'll say this. Yeah, see, you can see reference table has no primary key, so you should, it's mandatory that your table should have a primary key. Okay, so we will tweak the code that we wrote earlier so that it will create a primary key. id will be primary key. Okay, so after that we'll perform the same operation. We will have to call the create statement once again. We will insert the 2 records and after that say update result set. Okay, before that we will drop the table as well. Okay, so student is dropped. Okay, now when we create, yeah, update was also successful. Okay, let's see. We will first describe the table. Okay, so as you can see, id is primary key now, and when I say select star, you can see Scott has been changed to new Scott. So we have successfully updated the name using result set interface.